And when you're talking about fast tracking a pipeline through northern BC, obviously you'd end up doing it over the objections of the BC government, possibly some Indigenous groups. I mean, are you talking about resuscitating Northern Gateway? Is that what you would do if you were Prime Minister right now?
I'd go bigger. Northern Gateway was a 500,000 barrel a day project. We need to go 1 million at least. In fact, ideally, we'd have another 2 pipelines with each having 1 million barrels a day. And as to the BC government, it's irrelevant. Sure, we should always have phone calls and conversations and meetings with premiers, but the Constitution is deadly clear on this. The federal government has the exclusive legal and constitutional authority to approve a pipeline. Section 9210 says that the provinces do not have the ability to block interprovincial projects. And the courts, by the way, this is not my interpretation, the courts ruled on this, on the Trans Mountain pipeline. As for First Nations, they deserve to be consulted, but they do not have a veto power. That, too, is the finding of our courts. The final decision rests with one man, literally one man, and that is the Prime Minister of Canada. Because under Section 9210 of the Constitution and under Bill C-5, the decision is the federal government's and the head of that government, which is Mark Carney. So we don't need to make more excuses. We don't need to blame First Nations or premiers. There's one guy in the way, and his name is Mark Carney. He needs to get out of the way.
I'd like to read part of your op-ed in today's National Post. We don't have time for politics, paperwork, and bureaucratic busy work. And given this Liberal government's November 2016 decision to kill a nearly identical project, which Carney later testified was the right decision, and given that present-day Liberal members of Parliament continue to publicly oppose the project, we should doubt whether the Prime Minister is serious about getting it done. And based on his recent quotes, I think that's true. It just doesn't sound like he has any urgency at all, that he doesn't see Venezuelan crude as any kind of threat. And perhaps he's looking at the existing infrastructure that we have in place to process, to send the oil down. You know, he says we're a stable provider up here. You know, obviously they're not the same weather issues that they would have to deal with if they were bringing it over by tanker. He just doesn't think it's an issue. Will the Canadian people side with you on this matter, given everything that's happened, do you think?
Yes, Canadians overwhelmingly want a pipeline. That's why Carney's pretending that he likes the idea while doing everything he can to block it. And so the challenge I have is just to help Canadians see that Carney is a counterfeit on pipelines. He's pretending to agree, but if you listen carefully, he's not agreeing at all. What he said in his MOU with his agreement with Danielle Smith is not that he would approve a pipeline. It's that she can submit an application and he will refer it to an office for 2 years of study. So that's what he's promised. 2 years of study in a new bureaucracy. We don't need 2 years of study. We know we need the pipeline. We know we can build it safely. We know exactly where it needs to go. We have a prior route through the Northern Gateway project that was proposed and approved before this Liberal government killed it. So all of the excuses need to be put aside. And what I called for yesterday is for the Prime Minister to commit that within 2 months of receiving Danielle Smith's application, he should approve it so that we can get building.